In this week's video, I'm gonna show you how to make sourdough bread just like this, very easily without all the fuss.
Sourdough baking can seem a little overwhelming. Long and complicated schedules, endless techniques and terminology. It almost feels like you need a degree just to bake some bread. But the good news is, you really don't. In this video, I'll walk you through the basics of sourdough baking, share my go-to recipes, including a sweet fruit cake, and yes, you can also bake other things than bread. And if you're looking for the easiest possible way to bake bread, stick around until the end. I'll share my no-fuss recipe that's perfect for beginners or anyone who simply wants great bread without spending all day managing dough.
And it all starts here, with the starter.
A sourdough starter is simply a mixture of flour and water that's home to a culture of microorganisms like bacteria and yeast. You can make one yourself, like I did, because the microorganisms you need live all around you and especially in flour. Just mix equal parts water and flour and feed it daily for about a week until you see the starter becoming active. A note, every measurement in this video is of the weight in grams. I would recommend just using a kitchen scale with grams for this, even if you're not used to the metric system, because it's just the most easy and accurate way to measure for making bread. If you have friends or family that bake with sourdough, you can also just ask for a little bit of their starter to get you started. Think of a starter as a pet. It's alive and every now and then it needs to be fed. Feeding is just as simple as adding fresh flour and water. That gives the yeast and bacteria new food and keeps them happy, healthy and ready to bake. I bake roughly every 2 to 3 days, so I like to keep my starter in the fridge until I'm ready to bake with it. And my strategy is feed it the night before you need it and feed only what you need. So I like to keep my starter at around 25 grams and I feed it 50 grams of flour and 50 grams of water. The flour consists of 20 grams of whole wheat and about 30 grams of tipo uno or type 1, which is an Italian type of flour that sits somewhere between whole wheat and all-purpose. It's often called T80 in France or just bread flour in the States. After feeding, I keep it at room temperature and wait till it has about doubled in size and you can see that it's active. That's when it's at its strongest and ready to use. You may also come across the word levain or leave-in. It sounds fancy, but it's actually just very simple. It's a name for a portion of the starter that you use specifically for one bake. In my case, you could argue that I don't really use a leave-in, but I just feed my starter what I need. Take that the next day, in my case often 100 grams, and what's left over stays as the starter for next time. And now that we've covered the basics, let's make some bread. This first recipe I'm sharing is my most full-on method right now, and it's still really quite simple, but it does take some more time and it does take some more manual labor. But don't worry if that still sounds a bit much, because later in this video I'll show you the most simple version you could ever find, and it still delivers great bread. For this recipe I use 400 grams of bread flour, 50 grams of whole wheat and about 320 grams of water. I mix it all and leave it for 30 minutes to an hour. Then I add 100 grams of the active starter, I mix it all again and leave it for about an hour or so. After that I add about 9 grams of salt and again mix it well. You'll be surprised how often people forget the salt actually. After this I leave it on the counter and I knead or fold it every 30 minutes to an hour, about 2 or 3 times, and after that I just leave it until you clearly see it has risen a lot. Usually this takes about 3 more hours. If you see the dough is airy and jiggly, that's actually a good sign. After this I roughly shape the bread by folding the sides inwards and I just dump it into the pan. And yes, I bake my sourdough bread in a pan. It's easy, it gives a consistent and great bread, so what's not to love? Also, I don't have an oven right now, so I'm baking in this pan because it's part of the bread baking machine I have, and that's pretty much my only option right now. But don't think you need a bread baking machine like this to make nice bread. Most bakers actually use their oven just like normal and that works great. I cover the pan to prevent the dough from drying out and I pop it in the fridge for a night. In the morning I take it out, let it come to room temperature while I preheat the bread baking machine, and then I bake the bread for 75 minutes on the dark setting on this machine. And here's something important I've learned. When the oven is done, don't take out the bread right away. Most recipes online tell you to get the bread out of the oven straight away, But I found the crust becomes so much better when I leave the bread to cool just a little in the pan, think like half an hour. Then after, you're supposed to let it cool all the way for 2 hours before cutting into it. And to be honest, I don't have that kind of patience, so after like half an hour I usually lose my patience and cut into it. Of course, sourdough isn't just for bread. Next up is a fruitcake made from peaches from our own garden. I cut up 3 peaches, add 1 egg and about 100 grams of sugar. Oh, and also here, don't forget a little bit of salt. For this recipe I've made a very untypical leave-in with about 100 grams of starter, 100 grams of fine cake flour and 150 grams of strawberry yogurt. The yogurt adds moisture, some sweetness, flavor, but also, importantly, acidity, because the rise and fluffiness in this recipe comes from a bit of baking soda, which needs acidity to work. Oh, and don't forget about 60 grams of melted butter. In this recipe, you won't necessarily have a strong taste of sourdough, but it gives the cake a richness that makes it feel just a little bit more special. It's also just a fantastic way to use up some extra starter if you have discard. And finally, let's finish with the easiest beginner-friendly recipe. This is sourdough without all the fuss. Simply mix all the ingredients, wait for the dough to rise until you're happy with it, and bake it. It's really that simple. I use a bigger amount of starter in this recipe to help speed things up, and you could fold it a few times while it's rising, but you really don't need to. It's honestly just this simple. Will it look like all the artisan loaves you've seen on Instagram? Probably not. Will it still be a delicious homemade sourdough loaf that your friends and family will love? Absolutely. If you've been putting off sourdough because it seemed way too complicated, this is the recipe for you. Let's get baking. Or in my case, let's get to eating this bread. We chose to drive to a nice spot, have a nice little picnic, and of course, every picnic needs some bread. I wish you happy baking and see you next time.